I'd like to give it up to Vernon, Xavier, Revbody, EastlakeHQ for making this happen. Give it up, give it up. Yeah, this is absolutely huge right here. I'll tell you, Juneteenth was a normal holiday, a normal thing that we had each and every year, and it wasn't a one-day thing. It actually lasted 3 days. There's some ignorance that's out there about what this holiday truly is now, and it is a true federal holiday now. And I'm really, really excited about how we're moving forward in this country. We got a long way to go, but Juneteenth does mark the end of slavery. Ironically enough, 2.5 years prior to that, Emancipation and Proclamation was actually signed into action, but it was withheld from the slaves that were actually out in the slave plantations on the Confederate front. There were 12.5 million people that were brought from the African culture to the New World. And of those 12.5, only 10.7 million made it. That means we had a large majority that died just in transit. So today is a day of celebration that we want to celebrate the end of slavery. And we also want to recognize those people who lost their lives and physically had to give things out, mentally had to give things out. And so this is something that in our community that we should take as our responsibility to make sure that those lives weren't lost for nothing. Racism is where people don't even realize they're racist, but they're doing things that basically oppress others and so forth. So I want to make sure that I don't discourage any of you from foreseeing and carrying out your dreams. As I mentor, Vernon, some of the things that he's dealing with or some of the things that, I've dealt with, but there's ways around it. When you reach a state of what can be perceived as failure, people stop. And you can't stop in this world. You can't stop when you meet resistance. That's when you're getting to a place where no one else has ever been, usually. And so when you get to a place where you feel as if this is failure, don't look at it as failure. Look at it as this as an opportunity that you can move forward. And this is an opportunity that no one else has been, because once you get past that barrier where everyone is stopped, that is when everything opens up for you. And that's why when we start moving towards Juneteenth celebrations and getting more and more people here, that we can ultimately gather together and build a bigger force, but never stop.
I'm so happy that this really, came to light, and I appreciate everybody that's here. We really have a chance right here to sit together. Please reach out, get to know people. This is an annual thing. This ain't just something that we just doing. This is something that's on the year. It's like an art that we trying to really put it in the community, put it in the world. That you see changes happening. It's a federal holiday. We're really trying to make something different, create something that's our own. We're not just trying to do what other people are giving us. We're trying to create something that's our own.
So the first thing I want to mention about building a community is the community starts with you. Finding your tribe is the most important thing. So your friendships, your family, the people that you network every day with, that's your community. It starts within. People who support your dreams and are there to inspire you is also an important part of your community. Really take time to sit down and ask yourself questions about who you are, what you want to see, what you want to build, how you want to put out into the world. What kind of person are you? When I wake up in the morning, the first thing I do is, of course, I pray. I have time with God, and I ask Him, Lord, what are you going to do for me today? What do you need from me today? Who's going to need me today? And that's how I start to build my own community. With my kids, I try to set a great example of what a respectable woman should look like. A go-getter, a hustler, a serial entrepreneur. I'd also been in the Navy for 21 years, so also a leader. What kind of example are you setting for the people around you? Can they be inspired by what you're doing? And also just walking in your own light. Everybody's light looks different, and success also looks different in people's eyes. Are you following your purpose? Are you building on that purpose? Who are you as a person? And really loving that journey, and embracing that journey, who you're becoming. It looks different for all of us, and that's okay. That's okay. That's okay.
It means the world to spend this beautiful day, right before Father's Day with, my friends and family here. 1865 was the year that Juneteenth became something, but it was 2 years before that, in 1863, that it was actually the ending of slavery. It wasn't until just word got to Texas and the South that the slaves knew they were free. That's just another sign of oppression. Even when there was something meant to be done to help people, they didn't even know about it for 2 years. So, that's why we have these events. We're trying to have these uncomfortable conversations to talk about things that need to be talked about. That's the only way. We have to accept where our history is. Juneteenth is a celebration of progress, but it's also an affirmation, despite the worst parts of our history, change is possible. My whole goal is for people to truly live in a nation with liberty and justice for all. Like when that sentence was written in 1776 in the Declaration of Independence, black people weren't even considered people yet. Half of the people in that room had slaves. We became 3/5 of people. So now we're working our way up. And now after the celebration of slavery, 1865, we're being integrated into society. And it led into something called systemic racism. It's not as blatant as like, you're black, I'm not gonna hire you. But if you have a name named Daquan or something on your application, that's something that people can look down on. It's very subtle. I'm half black, I'm half Hispanic, but I face all the obstacles a black person would. Thank you for all the vendors, all my athletes, my clients, everyone that helped me decorate. It all starts with conversations, I hope you guys could leave this event, take any value of what I said. I see little kids here, I see people I haven't met, older people. Everything I'm saying is something could be of value to you. I hope that's my mission here. Juneteenth is a celebration of progress, and I'm committed to help progressing this nation to a nation that could truly live up to the statement, liberty and justice for all.